I didn't notice it the first time. That's the strange part. It wasn't something obvious, like a door opening or a window left unlocked. It was smaller than that, quieter. I was standing in my kitchen, reaching for a mug I always kept on the second shelf. Only, it wasn't there. I stood on my toes and looked again. Still not there. I checked the counter, the sink, even the dishwasher. Then I noticed it. The mug was on the top shelf, farther back, turned so the handle faced the wall. I frowned. I hadn't put it there. I live alone, no kids, no guests. No one who would rearrange my kitchen just to be helpful. I told myself it was nothing. I poured my coffee into a different mug and moved on. That was my second mistake. Over the next few days, small things kept shifting. Not disappearing, not broken, just moved. A chair angled slightly away from the table. A throw pillow flipped to the other side. My keys no longer on the hook by the door, but neatly placed on the entry table. Neat enough to look intentional. I tried to remember if I'd done it myself. Sometimes you don't notice what your hands do when your mind is tired. So I blamed myself. Until one evening, I noticed something I couldn't explain away. My calendar. I keep a paper calendar on the fridge, old habit. A date was circled, in red. I leaned closer. The handwriting wasn't mine. My heart didn't race. It slowed. Because when something is wrong in a quiet way, your body reacts differently. I checked the date. It was 3 days away. No note, no explanation. Just a circle. I stood there longer than I meant to, staring at it, waiting for a memory to surface. Nothing did. That night, I didn't sleep well. Not because I was afraid, because my house no longer felt still. The next morning, I paid attention. Really paid attention. I left my bedroom door half open. When I came back an hour later, it was fully closed. I paused. Stood there with my hand on the knob. The air inside the room felt different. Not disturbed. Settled. Like someone had taken care to leave things exactly how they found them. That scared me more than a mess ever could. I started checking locks, windows, closets. Everything was secure. I checked the basement. Nothing. The attic hatch hadn't been opened in years. I laughed softly at myself. This was ridiculous. Then my phone buzzed. A text. From my neighbor. Hope you didn't mind. I straightened a few things. I know you've been busy. I stared at the screen. Straightened a few things? I typed back. What do you mean? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally. Just little things. Didn't want to bother you. My hands felt cold. I walked to the front door and looked outside. His curtains were open. He was standing in his kitchen facing my house. Watching. Not smiling. Just looking. I didn't reply. I locked the door. Then I sat down and tried to think. How did he get inside? The answer came quietly. A few months earlier, during a storm, he'd offered to help secure my back gate. I'd handed him the spare key without thinking. He'd returned it. Or at least, I thought he had. That afternoon, I found the missing envelope. The one with my insurance documents. It was back in the drawer, perfectly aligned, as if it had never left. Except now, one page was folded differently, creased down the center. Someone had read it. I didn't call the police, not yet, because I didn't have proof, and because something about this didn't feel rushed. It felt practiced. So I did something else. I waited. Stippled date arrived. Nothing happened. No knock. No message. Just another small change. My front porch light was on. I never leave it on during the day. I stepped outside and turned it off. When I came back in, my phone buzzed again. "You don't have to worry," the message read. "I'm just keeping an eye on things." I sat down slowly. Keeping an eye on things. For me. Without asking. That night, I didn't lock the bedroom door. I wanted to know. I lay awake, listening to the sounds of the house, the tick of the clock, the hum of the refrigerator. Then, very softly, a floorboard. Not in my room, in the hallway. I held my breath. The sound stopped, then resumed. One step, then another. Someone was inside my home, and whoever it was, wasn't in a hurry. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I listened. A drawer opened. Closed. The refrigerator door opened. Closed. The steps retreated. Then silence. I stayed still until morning. When the sun came up, I walked through the house. Nothing was missing. Nothing broken. But something had changed. On the kitchen counter next to my keys was a note, written carefully. "You really should lock your door at night." I folded the paper once, then again. And that's when I realized something important. This wasn't about stealing. It wasn't about breaking in. It was about control. About letting me know that my space was no longer just mine. I didn't confront him. Not yet. I made one phone call, then another. And I started documenting everything. Because people who move things quietly are counting on you to doubt yourself. And I wasn't going to give him that. Not anymore.